Hello, everyone, and welcome back in front of the Week of Palmetto Playbook. I'm your co-host, Alan Marcus Harder, the 5 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. producer here at WMBF News in Myrtle Beach.
And I'm DJ Turner. I'm the weekend sports anchor and news reporter here at WMBF, and we'll kick things off with our top threes. And I'm actually kicking things off because my number three is just the NFL. There's an NFL game this week. I don't care that it's preseason. I don't care that it's the Hall of Fame game. There's an NFL game this week. We get the preseason, the opener, the Hall of Fame game as they do. I believe every year they do the Hall of Fame game to open up the year.
At least in recent memory, yeah.
They started that a few years ago, which is great. The Panthers are playing in it, so
Yeah.
we get to see the Panthers. We get to see. I saw, I believe yesterday they released that Kenny Pickett starting in that one,
Yeah.
so that'll be interesting. Just we need the NFL back. We need the NFL back. I'm personally still waiting for college football.
But, I mean, college football is my favorite, but,
Yes.
I mean, you can't go wrong with any type of football,
Yes,
honestly.
football has started, and we need to recognize it.
Yeah, I guess that's on Thursday, so we're a day away when you're watching this. Love to have it back. For my number three, I'm going to tennis. I'm shouting out Alex Ela. It's a name I mentioned, I believe, during Wimbledon. She's I believe a Filipino tennis player. She won her first ever hard court title at the DC Open over the weekend, and during that run to the title, she beat the 3 seed Naomi Osaka in the semifinal. She beat the number 2 seed Alina Svitolina in the quarterfinal, and both of those in straight sets. And then in the final, she beat the number 1 seed in the tournament, Jessica Pegula, in the 3 sets. She lost the first set 6-4, but then won those final 2 sets to win her first ever hard court title. And I mean, just a great run, beating the 1, 2, and 3 seed in that tournament, and shouting her out because it seems like she's just now bursting onto the scene in tennis, in women's tennis. So, love to see the success from her.
And then at my number 2 spot, we had the MLS All-Star, I guess, festivities, because there's the game and then there's all the different.
I think there's like the technical term is All-Star Challenge or something.
Oh yes,
like that.
yeah. So they had all the different things that happened there. I think like the NBA All-Star Weekend where they have the skills challenge and all that stuff. They do a bunch of fun things like that. I've got Thomas Mueller. He broke the record for I can't remember. It's the shoot. I know it's the shooting challenge.
The shooting challenge.
I don't know if they like call it something else, but I know
think it's just the shooting challenge.
Yeah, they do the shooting challenge where they put like targets in different parts of the goal that are worth different points, and then there's like a little AT&T ball that like slides around, and they have to shoot a ball through that. But I believe he hit every single target, or he might have missed one.
I mean, I saw one clip of it. It seemed like I don't know for sure if he hit every single target, but if he didn't, it was very, very close.
Yeah, I think he might have had one left, and it was also funny because he like stopped.
Yeah.
Did you see he like stopped and walked away, and then he walked? They like told him he had like 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
So then he ran back and started kicking again. But a great performance from him, and we'll talk about it later on a little bit. But shout out to the MLS bringing all of these players. I know the players from Europe are all kind of on the tail end of their career, but just seeing them come to the MLS has been just fun to see.
Yeah, and I was sticking. Well, I want this to be, I guess, like an honorable mention type situation. I'll just mention, we had Tim Ream, who a USA national player, defender. He won the passing challenge. He also plays for Charlotte FC, which hosted all of these festivities, winning the passing challenge. And then the goalie competition, they had a goalie wars, which was kind of fun. I don't know if you saw that. That was kind of funny to watch. Maxine Crapo with Orlando City winning that. And then I'll also shout out, I don't know if we were going to talk about the All-Star game itself in our soccer segment, but I'll shout out Son Heung-min, former Tottenham player. You mentioned the European European stars coming over here to play in MLS. I believe this is his second year. He plays for LAFC. And he's named it All-Star. He got a brace, I think, within like 2 minutes. Not like I believe he was a starter, but he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes during the game. Won MVP in the MLS All-Star game against the Mexican All-Stars, Liga MX. Well, the final score was 4-3, so a very competitive game. Like I said, hosted in Charlotte, so I'll mention that. For my number 2 spot, I'm going to women's baseball, I think we've mentioned it in the past about the women's professional baseball league starting up. This past weekend was the official opening weekend. You had the San Francisco Firebells beating the Boston Hunters by a score of 11-3, and then you had the Los Angeles Queens beating the New York Heights 10-8. So another professional baseball league to watch. I feel like if you looked on social media, it seemed like the games themselves were probably overshadowed by the national anthem. I don't know if
I saw way too many clips of the national anthem and not enough clips of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. She was like a renowned singer in her time, but
Yes.
So I don't want to give her too much like credit, but you can tell her prime has slowly faded away. Giving Fergie a run for her money.
I don't know if anybody could. Was that an All-Star game?
The NBA All-Star game.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was an NBA All-Star game or if it was one of like the
I think it was the
world versus whoever games.
Yeah, because you had Draymond Green, that clip, and I think there was a player. I don't know which game it had. One of the players they were trying their best not to laugh during the baseball. But yeah, good to have the women's professional baseball league. I think there's only 4 teams. It's just their first year back. I think it's the first time in like 70 years we've had women's baseball. So, or at least on a professional sense. So it's good to have that at least start off.
You've had some fun little story times on here. I'll give you one of mine. Now that we talk about women's baseball, women playing baseball is essentially what retired me from baseball. We used to have. She actually went on to play softball at Wisconsin. Was a very successful softball player from my hometown, Peyton Bannon. But growing up, she played baseball with us.
Yeah.
And I was not very good, and she was a pitcher. And that was when I realized I was not good at baseball, and that's not my sport when I was younger. So shout out to women's baseball. And I also want to give a shout out because the Women's Professional Baseball League is back. I want to give a shout out to Monet Davis.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to give her more credit than is due, but her making a name for herself and building that legacy in the Little League World Series as a female pitching in I believe she's the only female in the whole league at that point.
And
competing at the World Series, yeah.
I feel like there was some other women players. I don't know if it was before her or after her, but I know she definitely was like a standout player, a defining player at that time.
Yeah, she definitely. I feel like her kind of bursting onto the scene a few years ago definitely kind of pushed this along a little more than it could have been.
Yeah, she's on the Los Angeles Queens team. She was like I believe the 10th overall draft pick in the draft earlier this year or earlier last year for this professional baseball league.
And then my number 1, I've got Michael Thorbjornsen, the winner of the Rocket Classic this past week, and he shot minus 18 on the weekend, but his final round a 63.
Oh,
yeah, we've seen some low rounds. I forget which tournament were we talking about?
Open. I believe it's the Open.
Yeah. One of the Opens. I can't remember if it was the British one or the U.S.
The
Open.
British one, I believe.
Where everybody was shooting 63s, 62s, and everything. But a 63 at the Rocket Classic is a great score from Michael Thorbjornsen, which propelled him to win. Because without shooting that 63, because he only ended up winning by 2 strokes. So I think without shooting that 63 on that final day, because he came in with having a 69 and a 66 on his scorecard. So I think that definitely, just having the ability to go into your final day knowing you're down and shoot a 63 is great.
Yeah, that's a tremendous. Was the par like 70 or 72, or do you know what the?
I believe it was 71 or 72.
Okay, so that's a great performance from him. And then for my number 1 spot, we're going to keep it local, or hyper local, I should say. I'm going to shout out meteorologist Jenna Greenhill.
Yes.
With her first pitch at the Pelicans game. Before we knew that she was going to be throwing out some first pitches, Andrew Dockery went around the station and asked us if we thought she was going to be able to throw a first pitch strike, and honestly, there
was
was a lot of doubts
Yeah.
from within the WNBF newsroom. So I'll definitely shout her out for throwing that a high arcing 12-6 curveball, starting up in the zone, diving back down, getting the bottom corner. A great strike call from Splash, I believe, down there. So just a great first pitch. Maybe not from the full distance from the mound, but we'll look past that and give Jenna Green her flowers for a great first pitch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember Andrew was walking around in the morning, and the video is out there. There was not a whole lot of faith in the building leading up to that moment. I don't know if I think there was only one or two people that were like, yeah, she's going to do it. She'll throw a strike. The rest of us were very skeptical of the ability to throw a strike. But she went up there and did it.
I think my answer was like, I wish her the best, but probably not. So clearly I was wrong, and I'm glad to be wrong in that situation.
Love to see it.
Going to be at Pelicans ballpark tonight.
Exactly. There's one question everybody's asking tonight.
Yeah,
one
we're
of
going
us
to be out there.
One of us throwing out the first pitch. It's not me. It's not you.
It's Jenna.
It's Jenna. So, she gonna throw a strike?
Will she throw a strike? We're going to ask some of the WNBF coworkers.
What do you think?
I'm going to say no.
Oh, I'm gonna say absolutely not.
I believe in Jenna. She played volleyball, so I feel like she has strong legs and arms. So I think she'll throw a strike.
I hope for the best, but I got probably not.
Oh, no. No way.
Will Jenna throw a strike tonight?
Not a chance.
Yes, she will.
Jenna throw a strike tonight?
No.
I guess we'll go straight into the baseball segment. We'll start with the Atlanta Braves, who having some recent success right now. I think after losing the series to the Mets, they ended up sweeping the Nationals. I'm trying to pull that up real quick.
Yeah, over the weekend they won 4 straight against the Nationals, sweeping this series at home. They've got another home series coming up again after they were on the road for a couple. But it was a great series from everybody. The bats were hot. You had home runs from Acuna. Matty O, I believe, hit 2 or 3 home runs in this series. And there's a home run there from Mike Yastrzemski to the right center. It was definitely a great performance by the bats in this series. I think the defense played well also, but the bats were definitely hot in this one.
Yeah, you needed a bounce-back performance after losing the series to the Mets, who have been the Mets had a lot of potential, but as we talked, they're still the Mets, I guess you could say, and they've been struggling. Losing that series to them kind of hurt things, especially when you're trying to build up a lead in your division. Just giving a 4-game win streak against an opponent within your own division is always a good sign. They have the Marlins coming up. You'll know the result of the first game of the series that starts Tuesday night at 7:15. But the Marlins have been a hot and cold team. It seems like the past month or so. I think I literally talked about on last week's episode about how they had like a long winning streak and then a long losing streak. So. No telling what's going to happen in that series, but hopefully the Braves can pick things up, because then after you have the Marlins, then you have the Yankees, a 3-game series there. So that will be a tough test as well.
The Braves now sitting. They have reclaimed solo third best record in baseball from Tampa Bay with that win. They believe they were a half a game ahead, and then that one put them to a full game ahead, which I guess is subject to change with the games happening today on Tuesday. There's a lot of games in baseball. We say it every week, but there's a lot of games. Those rankings are going to change week in and week out. They've got 4-game series every 2 or 3 days now during the season, so that we'll definitely keep you guys updated with that.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, I will quickly mention things that helped the Braves out this past week at least is while the Braves have went on like a 7 wins, 3 losses in their last 10 games. Second place in that division, the Phillies, who were gaining ground, they're 4-6 over their last 10 games. They're 7.5 games back, so hopefully the Braves can keep some distance away. Yeah.
And then sticking with baseball, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans were at home against the Charleston River Dogs this past week. A great series, honestly. I was able to make it out to a couple of those games. And then we had our weather team live there on Friday, which was great to see. And that game on Friday was we had kind of a tale of two games for Friday and Saturday. As Friday night, the Pelicans ended up losing that one, I believe 13. Was it 12 or 13?
13-1.
13-1.
I
and
think
then,
I put my curse on them because I was there for that.
oh no, we can't have Ellen Marcus cheering.
So
for
I don't know if I
events.
can. I don't know if I'm allowed to go to another Pelicans game.
And then they followed that up on Saturday with a 6-0 win, which was great to see, which gave them a chance in the final game on Sunday to tie up the series. And then they ended up I think they would have had a chance. They were looking pretty good on Sunday going into that 6th inning. They let up the second run in the 6th inning, as they're showing Eli Lovich there on the screen, as it was his birthday.
Oh,
I saw it.
that's
Yeah, there
cool.
was. I saw they had one of they're called ushers, right?
Yeah.
In the stands, they had the usher for the section like right behind where they like warm up and they get ready to bat. The whole section sung him happy birthday when he was up warming up. It was great. It was great. But then on Sunday they went down 2 runs. And then going into the bottom of the 6th inning, it got rained out. There was a big storm that rolled through, and they ended up just calling the game there because I think once you played 5 innings, you can't replay the game. It just ends up becoming a final score.
Yeah, I guess at least in minor league baseball, yeah. I didn't know that. I should have remembered that it got rained out, but yeah, that makes sense. I will shout out just all the stuff that's going on at the Pelicans game Friday night. Despite how the game looked on the field, it was a fun. It was the Zoo Stars night where they had all the like animals like related to baseball player or athletes in general. Because you had Tim Tebow, a guy like in a bull call. You had Harry Canary, the bird. You had like Mike Rainbow Trout. I'm trying to think of the other ones that popped up on my. There was a lot of them. And they were all fun to see. They had a good crowd there. I know, like, our weather team during our hurricane week was talking about, at least leading up to that game, that there was more tickets are sold for that game than, like, the July 4th, the July 4th game. There was, like, I think the announced attendance was, like, 5,000 something. So, a great time at the ballpark at the Pelicans game.
Yeah, they've always got something going on there. I saw when I was there on the video board, they've got like a Power Rangers night coming up.
Yeah, I think
so might have to go check that out.
I think it's next week because they're on the road this week playing the Columbia Fireflies, but I think I don't know exactly. It's a team a name of a team I didn't really recognize. But I think the homestand of like not this week, but next week.
Then we've got the Power Rangers coming to town, and then sticking with baseball, back to I guess a lot of these players were in all types of leagues.
Yeah.
But starting off with the biggest deal of the deadline, Tarek Skubal going over to the Dodgers. Just the rich get richer. At this point, when you think of like super teams in sports, I think this might be like the most outrageous one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous pretty quickly.
They've got Shohei Ohtani, 4-time MVP, who also pitches.
Yeah.
They've got Tarek Skubal, who's won the Cy Young.
Back to back, I believe.
They've got another Cy Young winner.
Well, yeah, they have. Oh gosh, I've seen they had Blake Snell. I don't know if that's the guy I'm thinking of. They have Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yes.
Who's also a really good pitcher. I don't think he's won the Cy Young yet. There's Tyler he's like 6'8".
Glasnow.
Yeah. I think that's totally their starting rotation of 5, like 5 of the best pitchers in baseball. Their starting rotation. They also picked up. I can't think of the guy's name. He's a relief pitcher for the Padres, I believe. He's been having a down year so far this year, but he was literally a 2025 All-Star last year. So, if you're a Dodgers fan, I can't get too mad at the Dodgers for doing this because, it's within the rules of baseball to be doing this, which begs the question is why is baseball not stepping in and correcting this situation?
Put a stop to this madness.
Yeah, which, I think we might get a lockout next year with the way things are going because I think the collective bargaining agreement comes up at the end of this year. So the Dodgers may be the reason we don't have baseball next year. But it's a very messy situation because as of right now, there's no cap no cap limit into baseball. So the Dodgers are well within their rights to doing this, whether it makes literally the entire world hate them, or at least the entire USA that likes baseball
Yeah.
hate them. I don't think they really care at this point. They're trying for history, a third straight World Series title. The last time that it's only been done, I believe, twice before. The last time being the New York Yankees, I believe in 2000, and then the Athletics, I believe in like the 70s. If I remember, if Google taught me anything, like right before we started recording this podcast. But I mean, a great situation for them. I'll mention the Braves really quickly. They've traded they needed a starting pitcher, and I was kind of hoping that they would be in that market for Tarek Skubal, like the best.
It's hard to convince somebody not to go to the Monstars.
Yeah, one of the literally the best pitcher in baseball the past 2 seasons. But like we've seen, always going to the Dodgers. The Braves, they traded Carter Holton and Lucas Braun for center fielder Lane Thomas and pitcher Baylor Falter from the Kansas City Royals. The Braves traded pitcher Anthony Molina for pitcher Tyler Mahle from the San Francisco Giants. Try to recap the Braves traded one of the shortstops, Nacho Alvarez Jr. for a pitcher from the Angels, Brent Suter. They also traded right fielder Eli White to Boston for Tyler Uberstein, and then also they traded catcher Joey Bart to the Chicago White Sox for a pitcher Duncan Davitt. I don't think these trades. I definitely don't think they helped them, and they may even like hurt them. I just don't. They needed a perennial. I can't even pronounce the word. They needed a really good starting pitcher, I think, to make a mark in the postseason. It seems like the pitching has been letting them down so far this season, and I don't think they've really improved that with this trade deadline. It'll be interesting to see how things play out. I mean, you had other trades. There are too many to I think other teams that got better with the trade deadline, but I don't think it was a good trade window for the Braves.
Yeah, in baseball, I think I guess it's not called the transfer window. It's the trade deadline. I'm using my soccer terms.
That's why I was like
point.
the trade window or what I was like mixing terms.
Trade deadline is what it's called in American sports. We need to get back. We're still in World Cup mode and looking at World Soccer right now. But it's just insane because there's so many teams, so many leagues. You've got single A, double A, triple A. You've got the MLB. You've got like prospects who are not even technically on professional rosters yet that get traded.
Yeah.
You've got high schoolers being traded
basically
because they get like their draft rights and
yeah.
It's just insanity because you have thousands of players across the like 5 or 6 leagues that feed into the MLB, and all of them are being moved around, traded, and everything. And it's weird because you have some of them, they get drafted and then they go back to college. You have them, they get drafted and then they get traded, and then you get traded from a team like the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, teams down here in some of the smaller leagues, and you just have so many players on the move. It's hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
And then moving things over to soccer, we had the Charlotte FC, our local team here, had a game over the weekend against the Chicago Fire, and the Chicago Fire ended up winning that one 2-1. They had back-to-back goals from both teams early on in that game. I believe Lewandowski scored there was an 18th minute goal and then a 20th minute goal, one from each team. Pep Biel, I believe, is how you say his name.
Yeah, I believe so.
From Charlotte scoring that one, and the game ended up being tied after 20 minutes, and then a 68th minute goal from Lewandowski to get his brace ended up putting Chicago over Charlotte in that one. And I think, once again, Robert Lewandowski is just showing, again, the players that are coming over to the league. You have Messi, you have players like Luis Suarez, Lewandowski, you talked about Son earlier, Thomas Mueller. All of these players, we definitely missed some too. There's a bunch of big names coming over from Europe once their career is not finished, but getting towards the tail end of their career.
Well, there's now even rumors that Romeo Lukaku may go to Atlanta. I don't know how legit those rumors
Really?
I saw that on social media on Monday. I don't know how legit that is, but I saw that.
Yeah, these players, it seems like they get to around like 35, and then it's you either go to Saudi Arabia or you come to the MLS at this point. And it seems like right now, I think 2-3 years ago, the popular decision was to go over to Saudi and because usually you can make a little bit more money over there.
Yeah.
But it seems like now in the last couple of years, I guess ever since Messi came over, there's been a lot more players making the decision to come to the MLS, and it's growing the sport. We've talked about it each week since the World Cup as well. The sport's growing in the U.S. as well, so having these big-name players playing within the U.S., I think, will also help with the youth of the United States, just making soccer a more prevalent sport.
I sure hope so. I'll quickly shout out or mention like you mentioned, the Charlotte FC. They're sitting right now in 7th in the Eastern Conference, so they're in a playoff spot. But it's very close. The 9th place right now, which is the lowest tier. Or if you're finishing 9th, you'll be in the wild card. They're sitting at 23 points, which is 2 behind Charlotte. We're at like the middle. We literally just had All-Star Weekend, so we're at the middle point. There's a lot left to be played, but hopefully, like you mentioned, just the growth of soccer in this country hopefully will continue. I'll quickly mention. There's some other big international news. I'll quickly brief that because we don't have too much time. But the whole situation with FIFA trying to sell their stakes, the Gianni Infantino. Like I said, I'll keep this very brief because there's a lot to dive in there. The Gianni Infantino trying to pull a fast one and sell rights to the World Cup, creating an international chaos.
Yeah, I don't know how we are going to have a world tournament where there's already enough people mad about how it was run, and now it's like everybody you can take a piece of the pie.
Yeah, it seems like we've talked about FIFA's history of corruption. I feel like that's a safe bet to say at this point. I don't know. But it seemed like, Gianni Infantino, the current FIFA president, basically trying to pull a fast one and sell about 20 billion or 20%. It was like 20% for like 20 billion to private equity for future FIFA tournaments. I wouldn't say all the but UEFA, the European League, basically said no, we're not doing that. They threatened to pull out all their countries for future World Cups, which would include the Women's World Cups next year, which...
That's the biggest worry, is that World Cup could potentially...
Yeah, because you had Spain who won the previous Women's World... I believe it was, Spain who won the previous Women's World Cup. You have literally the World Cup next year. And then Spain and Portugal are major hosts for the 2030 World Cup. So a lot of chaos there. FIFA has since backed away from that plan. But it seems like there's a lot of pressure now to replace Gianni Infantino, and rightfully so. I believe at this point, it seems he cares more about making money than the actual integrity of football or soccer. I guess as Americans, we should say soccer. But a messy situation. There's a lot to go in there, but that's the brief, I guess, Cliff Notes version of it.
All right, so now we've got a few minutes left here. And I think we should do the thing that we are the greatest at. We're going to predict some things. The Carolina Panthers preseason starts this week. We're going to get into their season. We'll go game by game, win or loss.
Oh.
Which I think is great. So they're obviously going to start with the Hall of Fame game in the preseason. But the regular season opens up with the Bears. Win or loss, Alan Marcus?
Loss.
I would agree. I think they're going to start the season off 0-1. But then, second week, Falcons. I think that's a winnable game.
I think so. Right now, a lot that impacting the Panthers right now is they have a lot of injuries right now.
Yes.
They've this training camp. While you need to be prepared for the season, it seems like we're losing more and more players to season-long injuries by the day. So I'll probably see. Is that game is played in?
It's in Atlanta.
I'll probably give the edge to Atlanta now, but
we think they're going to start off 0-2.
Probably,
but Week 3 is the Browns, so that's a good thing for Panthers fans. If you're not optimistic about the first 2 games, I like a win versus the Browns.
Yeah, I'd agree to that.
They follow that up with a rough stretch of games, the Lions and then the Eagles, which I feel like is very
probably 2 losses.
Problematic for the Panthers. 2 losses, and then they play at home against the Buccaneers, which I think is a winnable game. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in Tampa Bay that
I'll give them a win there.
That seems a bit weird. They don't want to re-sign Baker. Vita Vea wants out. I don't know what's going on in Tampa Bay, but morale does not seem to be doing great. So we'll give the Panthers the edge there. And then they've got an away game at Lambeau Field which a late October game in Lambeau Field is probably not where the Panthers want to be.
I mean, it's better than like
cold.
December
Yeah.
when it's like snowing and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be
I
a
think-
rough game there.
I think we have to give the edge to the Packers there.
Yeah, I mean, and they play the Broncos the next week.
Yeah, the Broncos the next week. At least that one's at home. But I also don't have the utmost faith in them for that game.
Yeah.
And then the Saints, which I think they can pick up a win against the Saints.
Yeah.
And then the Ravens at home.
Depends
which is
on
gonna
if
be a
Lamar.
tough game. Yeah,
Depends on if Lamar Jackson's healthy, I guess.
it's going to be a tough game for them. And then they play the Buccaneers once again. This one and Tampa Bay. I have a feeling the Tampa Bay series will be split this year. I have a feeling it'll go one game to one. I think they're going to split. My thoughts, conference-wise, I think they'll split the games with the Falcons. I
Yeah.
think they'll split the games with the Bucks. And then I think they beat the Saints twice.
I sure hope so, because last year we said the same thing, and we see how that played out.
Well, hey, they made the playoffs last year. They squeaked in. They've got a game against the Vikings, which I think is winnable. I mean, we have no idea. We're going to have to figure out who the Vikings are this year.
They have like a 4-game stretch near the end where it's kind of
A lot of winnable
favorable.
games.
You have, like you mentioned, the Vikings, the Saints, the Bengals,
Buccaneers.
the
The
depends
Steelers.
on. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, the Steelers. Definitely not the Seahawks.
No. And then they play the Seahawks, which I think you could chalk that one up as probably another loss. And then they end the year with the Falcons, which I have a feeling if last year was any inclination of what's going to happen this year, I have a feeling that Falcons-Panthers game is going to have very big playoff implications on who wins the conference.
NL,
or not
NFC.
the conference, the division.
NFC South. I believe, yeah. I would. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where our records stand at right now. I could see them finishing with like kind of last year where it was like 9-7
Yeah,
or 8.
yeah.
And,
8 or 9 wins. I think
Yeah.
they'll be right around the middle.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think they can beat the kind of the middle tier teams in the NFL, which is a very big jumble of teams right now. There's like only 1 to 2 teams at the bottom of the league, and then you only have a couple of favorites in like the Rams, the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And then I can't think of another team other than the Rams and the Seahawks who are like outright favorites. I mean, you can look at the Broncos potentially to be kind of a tier below those two teams.
I mean,
but
yeah. Houston, their defense is really good. Their offense has kind of struggled last year. I mean, you always got to give the Eagles, especially in recent memory, they've put together a really great team. I mean, they lost A.J. Brown, but, I mean, they still – I mean, even the New England Patriots, I mean, they had a great season last year as well. So there's still really good teams, a lot of top-tier teams. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But
I'm optimistic. As a fan, it might not be good, but looking at things like as analyzing the team and looking from like a coach's perspective, last year I think was perfect for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because as a fan, you want to see them blow everybody out.
Yeah.
But I think as somebody who looks a little deeper than just who wins and losses, I think the fact that they kept all of those games within like a field goal or a touchdown, I think proves a lot about this team. And if they can just turn those games on its head a little bit this season, they could potentially win 10, 11 games if they can pull out those close ones like they did last year.
yeah, and they kept a lot of those games close last year, even if they came out on the losing end. So they've always been in these games, at least the past season. So hope for the best. Hopefully these injuries don't derail the season before it even begins. Because right now they've got I can't remember the names off the top of my head.
Nick Scorton, their first round pick from last year or second round?
I can't remember off
He
the
was
top.
he was an early pick last year, and then Chris Brazell, their third round pick wide receiver this
Yeah,
year.
so they've struggled on that front. Hopefully it doesn't derail, like I said, derail the season before it starts. But like you mentioned at the very beginning of the podcast, football is finally back. And
It's back. We're here.
So
We're here. We're excited. It's happening.
yeah.
And there's a lot to be excited for. I think the Panthers got a young team. There's a lot to be excited for in college football as well. Here in Conway, we've got an exciting season. We'll get more into that as we get closer to college football season, as there's no preseason for that one, so we don't get to get excited yet.
We even have high school football coming up shortly too.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
Next Friday, you'll have to watch Extra Point. We'll talk about that as well once it comes up. But for now, that's all we've got for this week, and we'll keep you guys updated with everything going on right here on Palmetto Playbook. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.